Running back is a very important position in now in fantasy football. We got some expensive running backs at the top of the draft that everybody's going after, that everybody's strategizing around. But once we get to those later rounds, we're just grasping at straws, hoping these running backs don't get injured, and hopefully they exceed expectations. One running back we're going to look at today in our deep dive is Jerome Ford, because he's a very fascinating running back in a great situation with some ickiness there as well that people are letting him slide in drafts. We're going to look at Jerome Ford. We're going to see whether or not you need him for fantasy football, but you need to click that subscribe button right now. Just slide that thumb over, click that button, because we're doing deep dives like this every day. We're going to cover as many players as possible on top of player lists, doing deep dives in season for the waiver wire, so you can get a better look of what's going on with these players from week to week. On top of that, helping you set your lineups, and then also helping you win the waiver wire as well. Click that button. Stop missing out. Jerome Ford's probabilities just went up because Nick Chubb's going to the pup. We kind of figured that out, but he's been squatting damn near 600 pounds, and you never want to bet against Nick Chubb anyways, so we've been just watching from afar. But it is what it is. D'Onta Foreman questionable due to a rib injury. He's been off and on with injuries throughout training camp. But Jerome Ford right now is the incumbent in the offense here. Ran a 4.46 40-yard dash coming out of college. Came out last year, performed well, and we got the size to bang it between the tackles. We looked good last year as well, coming in as a replacement for Nick Chubb. But you look at this backfield, Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford, Nyheim Hines, D'Onta Foreman. It's ambiguous behind him, but he's the incumbent. He should be getting the workload. They got some good veterans behind him. Foreman been getting nicked up here and there through training camp. Nyheim Hines coming back from a knee injury. They traded for Pierre Strong. He's got speed and upside, but he hasn't been flashing it throughout his NFL career. But Jerome Ford, when he's got the ball in his hands, can be productive. Is it elite? No, but he can give you those splash weeks, and he can keep your fantasy team afloat, especially if you strategize the right way, and especially if your team's built the right way at the wide receiver position. But you're looking at him, 807 yards, 4 touchdowns, 4 yards per carry, getting volume. That's what you want to see from your running back. Nick Chubb is going to be out for some time, and I don't even know if we're going to see him this year. I don't want to bet against him. I'm never going to say anything bad about Nick Chubb because we like Nick Chubb, and I think a lot of people do. But Kareem Hunt, looking at his numbers, because he was also on the field last year, not too shabby for a running back of his age. There's going to be probably another running back getting workload for the Browns because they do want to exercise a tandem here. They showed that last year, but that also shows you that if you put a running back there, the odds are they're going to be productive. And maybe you want 2 running backs out of this backfield, maybe not. Maybe you want to moneyball it, maybe you don't want to moneyball at all. Some of you guys want to moneyball your leagues, and some of you guys need to. So pay attention to the Browns' backfield. But the Cleveland Browns run a fair amount of plays per game, but they also run the ball a good bit. They run the ball a good bit, even with Nick Chubb out. They will push it up the gut. And Watson was out sometime last year, so the numbers are going to look a little different this year. Keep that in mind. But you're looking at his value, and he's climbing up the draft boards. He's going to climb up the draft boards now through the end of the weekend, through draft season here, because of the news. But people have been speculating on the news over the last month. Throughout training camp, he's been going higher and higher and higher. The market was predicting Nick Chubb to go on the pup. That's what they were doing. The market was kind of scared throughout the offseason, especially around June there, because they did not know what they were getting out of Nick Chubb. Just like I was saying, they did not want to bet against him. They respect Nick Chubb as they should, because Nick Chubb is like a standout dude, and he circummounts all odds. But Jerome Ford's going to rise in draft value as we look at his ADP. Multi-site ADP when averaged with ESPN, Yahoo, and NFL, round 10 range. I look for that to jump as well. I look for him to gain steam. People are going to start talking him up. People will start talking him up as the fantasy football community starts watching my videos a little bit more, getting ideas, and start talking up Jerome Ford a little bit more because he's going to get workload. They're going to get used. I look for this team to move the football early in the season, especially as they're coming out healthy into week 1. Jerome Ford, though, at the price range. Just look at the other running backs, though. Blake Corum, Brian Robinson, Zeke, Gus, Nick Chubb. So what you think about when you look at the players in this range, You're getting a running back here that's going to start off the season getting touches in an offense that's going to move the football with an offense that wants to run the football. You're getting him at a tremendous discount, but I think he's going to pump up the draft board. Do you want to gamble with another running back with a ton of upside that might win your league in the middle of the season but might not either? Or you want to get that running back who's at least going to start off the season getting touches? That is the decision you want to make. The other pivots are the upside wide receivers here. Brian Thomas Jr., Jamison Williams, Keon Coleman, those rookie wide receivers, even up there a little bit more, Romo, Dunze, Xavier Worthy. Do you want a running back like this who's going to get workload, or do you want to chase the upside? You don't need them. You don't trust the Cleveland running backs. You look at the backups, it still worries you. You don't like Jerome Ford. You rather go upside at the other positions. You rather do that. You want to chase that, but you want the cheap running back production, double-digit rounds, round 9, round 8, whatever your home league does. I'm in the highway area, and more north I get, the higher he'll go off the board. If you're down south a bit, west coast, I bet you he goes more double-digit rounds, and I bet you people start talking up Jerome Ford a little bit more. But again, what are you going to do? And this is another player to play Moneyball with. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button on the way out. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.